Hey
Hey guys!
guys, welcome back to a new episode of our podcast, Free Therapy.
Yes, we're back, and for today's topic, we thought of, I don't know, giving you our opinions on red and green flags.
Yes, so we prepared ourselves a bit to say, and each one of us wrote down a list of green and red flags. Doesn't matter in what type of like relationship, it doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship. It can also be related to friendships or family based relationships or any type of social interaction you can have with people. So
Who starts?
I
Please,
don't know.
please, ladies first.
Okay, you start, I
Oh
guess.
no, you.
Okay. Should we start with the green flags or
Yes, let's just say the good stuff first at first and then end it on bad terms,
okay?
as any relationship.
Okay, so let me start. So the first thing I wrote is when the other person slash partner takes interest in your interests.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a cute one. That's a good one, even.
Uh-huh. And I think it's just like a type of showing like support for your like personal growth and like of the stuff that you are into and that you are liking. And it just demonstrates like a type of healthy and caring relationship between the two persons, you know?
Yes.
And like for example, imagine someone is into art and the other person isn't, but because they know that their partner is like into art, they, I don't know, start going to museums with them when they tell them like, I want to go to this museum today.
Yes.
And they start like going with them and discussing stuff like about artists' lives or about a painting maybe, or even doing activities that are art related,
Yeah, I
you
was
know?
thinking about that. Like,
Yeah.
for example, a person is into like pottery or like
Mm-hmm.
crocheting or something or painting, and they have a little date doing that
Yeah,
together.
that I find that so cute, and as I said, it just shows support from the other person and like the will to participate in stuff they are not even liking maybe or weren't into it, but just because you are important for them, it somehow becomes like part of their own personality as well.
Yeah. Well, I have something like related to that, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna drop it. When when someone like sees something or hears something like a song and they be like, I thought of you.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
think that's so cute. Like maybe they hear a song and they be like, "Oh my god, I thought of you when I listened to this because it's giving your vibe."
Mm-hmm.
Or they just see something and they buy it for them and they be like, "It was just screaming your name and I
Yeah,
thought of you."
yeah, I think that's a green flag for sure, and it's just so cute, you know, simply just like that. The fact that you are there on their mind, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like these small details that they know
Yeah,
about you
like
that makes them, yeah,
they remember you
exactly. It
like
shows
that.
this as well. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
it's just really cute and just a really nice gesture from the person.
Go on.
So, my the second green flag I wrote down was sense of humor. A
Oh,
good sense of humor.
And like
Um,
matching sense of humor. That's
yeah,
even like better.
exactly. I think that it's just
That's just a plus, I think.
yeah, it just makes the conversation between the two persons and like the type of relationship they're having more like vivid, like more dynamic. There's a vibe that is being felt by both persons, especially when it's like that type of humor of throwing a joke and then keep going onto joking in the same like topic situation, whatever you want to call it, and just throwing it back and forth at each other, you
Yeah.
know. That shows how much you're like
Matching it,
exactly,
literally.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I think that's so giving. It just shows how like dynamic the conversation is, you know. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like superficial and boring and just asking each other questions.
Or you just drop a joke and they'd be like, haha.
Yeah, like that's so awkward, and it just makes it more entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
really. Like just having humor in there and showing it even makes you even more comfortable towards the other person. And I
Yeah.
think that's a good sign.
Yeah. What I also find it to be a green flag is when the person lets you know that they're busy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
That one, like you just chatting and they'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna, I don't know, take a nap,
Mm-hmm.
or I have some work to do, talk to you later. Or not even that, they have a busy schedule and they just put you up to date. Like, look, I'm gonna do this and that, and I don't know, they're oversharing basically. They're
Yeah.
saying everything like, oh, I'm just gonna, this is gonna be my day. And yeah, or like when you ask them, how was your day? And they give you details about it.
But you know what's more interesting about this is that they're oversharing, but not just for the sake of telling you stuff.
Yeah,
It's
not like they're not feeling like they're filling a report to
yeah,
you. Like,
exactly. They're like telling you how they're like interested in this, how that thing that happened to them was frustrating. They like it's full of emotions, you know?
yes, exactly. Like they just want you to be part of their
Yeah.
frustration or their excitement.
Yeah.
And just the moment that they lived in that day, they want you to know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's beautiful.
Well, my next green flag is kind of related to it because you mentioned oversharing. It's sharing on all levels, or basically oversharing. Like, as I said, just telling each other details about your daily life, not in a form of like a report or as if I'm interviewing you,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like that type of conversation. It's it's more on like a deep emotional level, as I already mentioned, and it doesn't just have to be like basic stuff, like maybe your daily routine or like how your day was. It can just be more like
How you felt that day.
yeah, like more on an emotional level, intellectual connection, just connecting yourself always with the actions that you are maybe sharing with me, you know, and telling me how you felt during like specific situations or events makes the other person feels that there are somehow like a safe space for you,
Yes.
you know.
Yes, like they
And
just
that's
want to
so
come back to you, tell you something
yeah.
exciting or something bad, and they look for comfort in you.
Exactly. Like the fact that they like you're kind of the first person that pops up on their mind to come to and share stuff with them just shows how like
Comfortable there around you,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it's just giving like
It's
I
just
don't know.
beautiful.
Like really. So yeah.
um, Another green flag is when the person, I don't know, maybe your friend or your partner especially, knows what their love language is.
Mm.
like they know how to show their love to you. They experienced it maybe, or they just are comfortable enough in their skin and mind to know how to show their appreciation
Mm-hmm.
towards you. You know what I mean?
I do. But I don't know. I think it's a bit hard to judge in some situations
I
if
mean,
it's a green or a red flag.
it couldn't be a red flag if you don't know it, but it's definitely a green if you do.
Yeah, I would say the same. Yeah, it's like 50-50 somehow, like a beige flag, but
Yeah,
but if you actually know it, like it's a green flag, you know?
exactly.
Because some people like haven't experienced stuff, you know, or like being in a relationship maybe or something like this. Like maybe they're new to this whole
But
world to
it's
say.
not really like relationship related, because sometimes, for example, let's
No,
say on Christmas
I
when
don't
you
just mean like with relationship I mean like friendships and everything, you know. There are also some people that don't have friends basically, or haven't had good experiences with real friends, you know.
yeah.
And maybe they didn't have the chance to find out their like actual type of showing love towards them because just the friendship wasn't working out really well, or the other friend wasn't showing affection as well, so they couldn't really experience the whole thing. I mean, maybe it's a bit rare, but still. But yeah, as I said, if you know the right way of you showing love to your partner or to the other person, it's definitely a green flag.
Yes,
Like,
but also like it doesn't have to still be relationship or friendship related. For example, some people might know that they already have like gift giving as a love language, because when they grew up they realized, oh, on Christmas
mm,
I'm really thoughtful about my gifts, and
okay.
I like giving like my family just something meaningful that they really love,
Mm-hmm.
or I like helping my mom because I love her and I like doing like cleaning for her or doing something special. So stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
sometimes people can know about it before having a meaningful connection with the
Mm-hmm.
person outside of their family.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's true. I agree with that. But as I said, it's like more limited into the family
it is.
because I can't imagine like having already like I can imagine already knowing that maybe my love language is physical touch because of my family. Like that sounds so weird, you
No,
know?
no, but like, of course, because if you feel better when your mom maybe gives you a hug and stuff like that.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. It just limits it somehow, but
Of course, because it's not all the time, like, you can't experience all the love languages with your family.
yeah, that's what I
For
meant.
example, maybe physical touch, or maybe some parents are not that affectionate,
Mm.
like verbally towards you, so
Yeah,
you don't know if, how's it called, that love language? With the words of affirmation.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I agree.
Well, another one would be when your partner, especially when your partner is a male, has a sister and they have a good relationship with their
Mm-hmm.
sister.
Yeah.
Because I think women in general have just, I don't know, bring so much out of you. No
Like they
matter
have,
if
I
you.
think they have a special impact,
Yes,
and
exactly.
the woman being your sister is like a whole different level of connection towards her.
Exactly,
You know?
because you live with them and you
Yeah.
grow up in
Mm-hmm.
that like environment, and somehow, especially as I said, if you were a man, you you get to be more like maybe respectful towards women
Mm-hmm.
and to understand them better. And yeah, just this kind of things.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I always say that I wished I I wish that I had a sister, to be honest. Cuz I don't know, like to be honest, most of my like deep connections were with the opposite gender. Like I always had great connections with females basically, and that's why it always like made me think how maybe my personal life at home with my family would have looked like if I had a sister. That maybe I see her like 24/7. I grew up with her. I like experienced stuff in my childhood with her as well. Like
Yes.
it would have been like an experience actually.
And kind of like what she goes through and you
Yeah.
know about,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of gives you already a vision of maybe your next partner. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you will have a girlfriend at some point, you will know that, oh, look, like I know my sister is like this in this
Yeah.
kind of situations. Maybe my partner is gonna be the same way. Maybe they have the same, I don't know, thinking. You kind of get your head wrapped around it and
Mm-hmm.
have at least the smallest idea of how a woman works, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, the next green flag is being supportive of personal growth and somehow not being threatened by it.
Mm-hmm. Explain.
So, first of all, it's like somehow an encouragement for having your own space and being independent on your own, you know?
Basically, yeah, that's
Because
what the definition is.
no, like actually I mean it because people sometimes think that when you're in a relationship you should share like everything 100% with each other. Like I think you still have your own personal space when it comes to like personal goals and stuff like that, you know? And this supports it somehow because it shows that even that you have different goals than your partner or like different perspectives in lives,
Yeah.
they are somehow still supportive of them and they are not feeling threatened by them. Like, for example, to be more clear, imagine that in my case, to say, let's talk relationship wise or friendship wise. Let's say friendship wise. So, I'm finishing my high school this year, right?
Right.
And after that, I want to go to university.
Right.
And for me this year, I have different goals than you, to say. We are best friends. We have a friendship, you know? And even though I'm gonna be like moving out of here, we're not gonna be seeing each other every day as we usually do. Like the connection is gonna be kind of
Not
l-
faded, but
like a bit more limited
yes.
because of like the distance. But still, you're not like coming to me and be like, "Oh my god, why the fuck you wanna move? Like
Like
why the fuck
wait
you wanna
for
move
me.
out? Yeah, yeah. Or can't you wait for me? Or just try to stay here. Do your best to stay here." Like you're not feeling that our friendship is threatened because of the way I want to grow up, basically.
Yes,
Because of how I want to achieve my goals.
I'm also not forcing you to go to university in this city. Like
Yeah.
I really want you to go wherever you want, and I don't know. As you said, I'm really not threatened by the fact that you're gonna go away
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like um this is gonna be like a side story. I don't know. Um, because distance relationship.
Yeah.
It's really controversial and people don't know like, oh, is it gonna work or not? It depends. Like if you already had like a relationship or friendship in the same town and you build it up basically, when the person, maybe one of the person has to go away, you kind of can't just give up on it,
Mm-hmm.
and you are still gonna fight for it just because they're important to you and it's different. But when you want to start a friendship or a relationship that it's already like the person is already far away, and it's a bit more harder, not impossible but harder. But yeah, in our situation basically is really,
Yeah, like the friendship is literally like built up
yeah,
basically.
it is.
Like we're gonna be friends for like almost 4 years this year, and it's such a long time. Like it's a journey. We went through a lot of stuff together, fights and
Good times
good
even, like
times. Yeah,
everything.
everything. We basically like are sharing our everyday life with each other. As I said, we almost see each other every day. If not, we FaceTime or we're texting each other and just keeping each other updated on stuff happening. So, of course, as I said, it's gonna be like more maybe limited and difficult to stay in touch because of the long distance, but it's definitely not gonna be like fading away, you know?
Yes.
And if I want to compare it somehow, I try to comparing to connections I had back home when I came to Germany. I would say that such connections are faded out completely. But it's different again because in that period of time, I was much younger and I don't think I had the chance to experience what a true friendship is and what a good connection with someone feels like.
And maybe how to keep it that way.
Yeah, like I wasn't that mature basically
And not
during that
just you, like
phase.
you shouldn't just put it on yourself. Like it has to, like a friendship has to go both ways.
Yeah, of course, but maybe I put it on myself because maybe the friends that I had connection with felt that it was actually good what they were having with me as a friendship, but maybe I was the one who wasn't feeling it. That's why sometimes I like put it on myself because I just didn't had the chance to experience it more deeply. And that's why in this case I just know that the way we are gonna go about our friendship after me maybe moving out to another city and just having this big change in my life is gonna be completely different.
Yes.
Yep.
It's gonna be hard, but yeah, as you said, it's not something we should be afraid of.
Yeah.
Moving on, let's move on. I find it to be a red flag, green flag, green. Um, when the person, like either relationship or friendship, knows how to hype you up about stuff. When you have a bad day, and they just know how to bring your mood up
Mhm.
and knows how to comfort you, basically. Just knows your, I don't know, soft spot and maybe your humor, your personality, basically, to just at the end of the conversation, after you, I don't know, told them everything, like how you feel like, and how everything happened, you just leave the conversation with like a better mood.
Yeah. I think sometimes that's hard because especially when now that you mentioned like a specific situation of like being maybe sad or frustrated with something and then you come to the other person and you tell them about it. I feel like sometimes it's hard to find someone with such like um green flag because I feel like some people try to make you feel better by comparing themselves to you, you know? Like you tell them about something and they're like, "Oh, you don't have to feel sad. Look what happened to me." Like they're trying to like kind of add up
Yes,
on your
like you
situation.
shouldn't be feel bad about it. There's worse things
Yeah.
happening in the world.
Yeah.
but in this, like this I don't know, this sentence specifically, it could be a green flag, but as you said, if it's not the case, it can be a beige flag.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not good at comforting someone, you shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm that's a red flag, I should do better.
Yeah.
Because that's how people like learn how to do it, and depends of the person. Like you can't just know how to be a therapist for anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a green flag when, I don't know, you feel safe around someone and you go
Mm-hmm.
to them and they give you a good advice, or you leave and you have a better mood
Mm-hmm.
and you be like, damn, I will come back to them
Yeah.
in such situations.
Mm-hmm.
That's a green flag.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Period. um, Another green flag would be when people that maybe don't look like it, because yeah, I be judging, like I be judging how people look like and what their interest might be. But for example, a person that doesn't look like they be listening to soft music, and then you just find out they enjoy R&B. Like you just see, I don't know, them posting rap songs or such songs, and then you hang out with them and they just play R&B songs and how they vibe. And I don't know, R&B is just so calming and brings out such an atmosphere, and the lyrics and the music and everything is just so relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a green flag for me, when you know how to enjoy time and listen music, but like,
Set up the atmosphere at the same time around you
yes.
to make the vibe more intense somehow.
And it's just a green flag for me, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. When someone tells me like I like R&B, and B, and then we start talking about artists and music, and I just enjoy it so much.
Yeah. So my next green flag is when they admit their mistakes.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Like the fact that you did something wrong and maybe I tell you about it, like, look, this annoyed me, or you shouldn't have done that or said that. And us actually just having the conversation about it is already a green flag. The way you're maybe communicating with me about it is also a green flag. But actually coming to a point where you're like, yeah, you're right. I was wrong in this. I shouldn't have done it like that. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Like, that's the biggest green flag ever. Actually apologizing. Like, just saying, I'm sorry. Like, sometimes I think, is it that hard to just spit out the words out of your mouth if you know you're wrong?
Yes, but it has to be like, you know, you're wrong, because there are people that just, something happens and they just throw the words at you like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
and they just want to move forward. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to admit that they're wrong.
Mhm.
They just want to get over it. So everything is fine.
Yeah.
I hate people that don't know what confrontation is,
Mhm.
and they don't know how to act in a situation like, oh, we had a fight, we had to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to say sorry.
Exactly. Like, oh, that's something different. What I wanted to say is, I hate people who don't know how to confront you about something, and the fact that they don't even want to talk about it, even though they know they're wrong. Like in their mind, they know they are wrong and they should apologize, but because their ego is just above the roof and they can't step on it, they're like, no, I don't want to talk about it and I don't want to say sorry, even though I know that I'm wrong, because it happened to us before. Background story, censored, let's say. Um, I was friends with this one person, and I swear to God, once we had like a fight, or there was a fight between them and someone else in the friend group, And I talked with them about it, and they were like, yeah, but I know that I'm wrong. I know that I did something wrong, and I know that I said something wrong, but I just can't admit it. I can't confront them that I'm in the wrong, basically, and I can't apologize. My jaw dropped. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Why is it so hard to just admit that you're wrong? We're all humans, and like, no one is perfect, basically. It's
Yes.
just okay to do something wrong and to fuck up like anyone else. It's just important to acknowledge it, basically, and feel guilty about it and show that. Because even if you do, if you're not showing it, how is the other person supposed to know that you actually regret doing what you did to them? And this is that type of like fine line between them, which is the ego that you have. I don't know how it just like you create that image in your mind. Like what is even that ego not letting you apologize or admit that you are wrong? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like what would that destroy of your personality if you're just putting it on your ego?
I don't even know what to say right now
Like
because you're right. Like, I totally agree. They just don't know how to.
they just seek therapy basically. I'm not joking. This is some type of like mental illness. I'm not kidding. Like take it seriously, people, and seek help.
Period. Anyways, let's move forward and not be so dramatic about it
Yeah.
and dig graves right now. Um, Another green flag, but in a relationship, low key, would be when people, especially I said relationships, so when not people,
Okay.
when your partner takes
Mhm.
candid pictures of you. For me, this is so important in a relationship. I mean, not so important as if, yeah, it's like top 10 or something.
Mm.
I mean, maybe top 10, but not like, but not like top 5, okay? When you just find out, like, you don't know about some moments and they just capture this moment of you being happy or whatever you were doing, being yourself, and you just find out that, oh, they appreciated me so much in that moment that they just wanted to look at this moment in the future
Mm.
and experience that feeling again just by looking at it.
Yeah.
It's hella cute.
I think it's cute as fuck. And maybe you mentioned it in relationships, but I think it's also cute in friendships.
Exactly, like,
And
yeah.
I'm sorry, but this is your this green flag is your red flag.
No, it's
Like
not.
it
Like, you want to
is.
see my candid pictures of you?
No,
They're
thank
just
you.
not cute, but they
No,
are
thank
candid
you.
pictures that I do look at them and remember these times.
But I swear to God, people, it's so fucking rare for Elena to take pictures of
Oh
like
my god.
people around her. I'm not joking. Like I swear to God, when I see her like pulling out her phone and taking actually a picture of like the friends or the people around her, I'm like, oh, she's in the mood. Like, okay.
we, the like the cover of this episode should be that picture in Olympia Park in Munich. I swear.
Oh my
Oh.
God, we're gonna post this on we're gonna post this on our story, so you know what we're talking about. It was the picture that Elena took of me, like basically a candid picture, while I was laying down on the
He was
grass
sleeping.
and
He
sleeping.
wasn't laying nowhere. He was that sleeping in the park.
I was sleeping in the park while we were queuing for the Harry Styles concert, and we were just so ghetto. Yeah, whatever.
But I do have a last green flag before we move forward to
Mm-hmm.
the red ones. Would be when people in general care about their physical and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, they take time off for themselves to just, I don't know, have alone time and meditate, or just have that pure time that you're not in contact with anyone. You do
Mm-hmm.
some, I don't know, skincare, you do something like sports, or you cook something nice for you. You care for what goes in your body and in your mind, the information you, after a long week maybe, you just need that moment at the weekend where you just sit by yourself and read something or watch something, do something by yourself to just
Practice your hobbies. Give
literally.
yourself time to do stuff that you enjoy doing. Doesn't have to always rely on what other people or your partner is doing. That's what I mentioned also before, that you should still have this type of like personal space where you do stuff that you enjoy to do by yourself, maybe, or just to take care of your mental health and your physical being.
Yes, because people have different ways to cope
Yeah.
about things.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're either journaling, or you just sit there, listen to some music, and you think about like things that happen to you,
Mm-hmm.
and you process them.
Yeah.
And you think like, oh, I had this fight with my friend this week. What was it wrong? Was I in wrong? Were they in the wrong? How could it be? How could we avoid this in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Or just things like this, but also physical, as I said. I don't know, do something like do some sport,
Yeah.
or eat something healthy and care for yourself. Be like, oh, I don't know, I've been eating so bad lately. I should be more careful about it. I think that's such a green flag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That's really important. So after mentioning all these green flags, I said,
Even though there are more, maybe we should do this again
yeah,
other time,
I say we move on to the red flags and start dissing everyone on here.
including ourselves, maybe.
Oh, then you start.
Oh, so when a big red flag, when people give you the silent treatment when they're mad.
Mm,
Again, confrontation.
yeah.
They don't like to do it, and they just avoid com- having a conflict about it, or just a normal talk.
Bit controversial, but don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's a beige flag. It's definitely a red flag. But, but sometimes it's difficult to confront the other person and not give them the silent treatment when you constantly see that they are not contributing, you know?
Okay, that's a different kind of situation. That's what I was
Yeah, but
referring to.
some people would still say, yeah, whatever. Even if they're like not cooperating with it, I would still do it, you know? But for me, it's not, because it makes me feel bad about myself somehow, you know? That I'm maybe confronting them with it, or what they did wrong, or what I did wrong. Doesn't matter. And they're just like, whatever. At the end, they're like, okay.
I
It's
mean,
fucked up.
yes, you are right, but besides this, it could also be that you give them the silent treatment, but not for like forever. Then that, I don't know, you have a fight, you give them the silent treatment, but that goes forever. Like you could give people the silent treatment because, as you said, you don't want to give like, I don't know, put yourself out there over and over again, and just you being the only one that initiates like making up for it.
You
You
know,
could, what?
sorry for interrupting. You know what this is giving me? What vibe? It's giving me that quote from this story that was actually also quoted in the movie and the book Call Me by Your Name. Is it better to speak or to die?
Oh. Oh.
Like, I could never answer that question. And it's literally about this, like the silent treatment or confronting people with stuff. Like, it doesn't even have to be when people do mistakes. Could just be about anything.
Yeah, but it also depends because it's about anything. So it depends. Do you give people silent treatment? For how long do you give it? And yeah.
I think I would rather die.
That's so you.
Right? Okay, so first thing on my red flags list is people's addiction to external validation.
Oh,
Oh. Oh.
okay.
Yes, basically. So I think it just indicates that you don't have independence. You're just dependent on what other people think of you.
Is this fucking play about us?
Well,
No.
well,
Depends.
I just really think that like that in this kind of addiction is just showing that you are relying completely on what other people think about you just to use it as something for your self-worth, you know?
Yeah.
Like you consider, oh, if no one loves me, if I don't get this type of validation, like words of affirmation or anything like that, I'm like, no, I'm not worthy of love. Everyone hates me. I'm lonely. Shit like this. Like you don't know your self-worth until someone is like telling you, "Oh my god, you're so gorgeous. You're so pretty. I love you so much." Then you're like, "Oh my god, I'm so loved." Like
Or like
it's not giving, babes.
how smart you are. Like you're so smart, but if no
Yeah.
one brings it up to you, like brags about it, you're like,
I'm so dumb. Don't know how to do anything. Why am I living? Like, it's just, as I said, shows how you're dependent on other people's opinion about you. And especially in like relationships, to say, being like based on what your self worth is, on how your partner's opinion is about you, or how they try to approve how worthy you are, just drains out the relationship at some point. I feel like it's toxic somehow
yeah,
to say, because it just like prevents the relationship being authentic somehow, because it's just you taking the validation from your partner without actually showing your real self. Like
mm-hmm.
maybe instead of doing this and just seeking validation the whole time, maybe it would be a good idea if you have a conversation about you being insecure about stuff, maybe, you know,
Yeah, that's right.
and just to talk it out and see how you could work on it by yourself so you can realize that you are worthy of being pretty and feeling that way and loving yourself more and etc. You know, like
Yes.
it should be more coming from you instead of always taking it from other people. That's why I think that it's somehow toxic, and at some point it drains out the relationship because the other partner that is always giving you the validation maybe just gets tired of it at some point.
Yes, maybe if the partner itself, like it will feel like they constantly need to prove you something
Yeah.
that you have to prove
Mhm.
yourself. Exactly, yeah.
So it's just not genuine at all. Like, if I give you a validation, you feel good about it. If not, you're just complaining the whole time. And I should prove to you, as you said, that you are worthy of love and you're pretty and blah, blah, blah. And if I
Mhm.
don't, you're just nothing. So, yeah.
Something else I found it to be a red flag is when people forget about their friends when they're in in a relationship.
Mm,
They
good one.
just happened to me before. Let me just say that.
You lie.
I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Liar. Like when I'm not lying. Wait, first of all.
Wait, is this playing about us, actually?
No, it's not about me. It's about
Oh.
other people that I'm actually calling out right now.
Oh, okay. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes,
I'm sorry.
exactly. I don't know. I'm really happy that you found love.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, because it's like something I can't give you and people should experience, whatever.
Like a deeper level of intimacy, basically.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean I'm not happy for you and I don't want you to experience such like things. But why should you cancel on your friends any other time just because your partner has some free time and you want to spend time with them?
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I said it before that when I love someone, I'm kind of getting like obsessed with them and I want to spend time with them and be with them. And still, don't know if maybe when I will have a relationship that it's not gonna be, let's say, long distance as it was before, and I could just spend time with the person like whenever I want, basically. I can't say right now that I would not hang out with you, for example, anymore, because I don't know yet how I will act in that situation. But still, I'm aware of it
Mm-hmm.
and I've been through it. So I think it's something that I didn't have to experience to get like the lesson, for
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been in situations when I was friends with some females. Let me just drop that because since it's a podcast,
Oop.
gotta call them out like that. Where we were just good friends. They start hanging out with this dude, whatever, and we were planning stuff and they were just canceling on me and spending time with them. And whenever I was calling them out for it, because at some point, like, yeah, you can like close an eye and whatever, yeah, they're
Didn't
in love.
happen. Mm-hmm.
But when it constantly happens,
Yeah.
I get tired of it. And since I'm calling them out and they don't do something like to improve and they keep doing it, I had to like cut them off at that point. And that's so bad because why would a man have to destroy
Why would the man be there? Why would the man be there? Like, why would you put him between us?
exactly.
Because I don't have anything to add about what you said because happened to me the exact same way. I think we're talking about the same person.
I'm not even talking about one person. Like it happened to me twice. Like
Oh,
twice big time.
you have to tell me about the second time. I don't think I know about it.
You definitely know. You just don't know exactly who I'm talking to, but
Oh, okay.
she might know if she listens to this. And whatever, we got over it. It was also like, as we said, like before, it happened so much time ago. We were young, whatever. Maybe we didn't realize we have to go through stuff.
Oh, now I know. Now I know.
We
babe.
have to go through stuff before we realize what's good
Mhm.
and and what's bad.
Yeah.
But people that do this, like they know about it
Mhm.
and they keep doing this, and I don't know, they just need karma to do its thing and
No, they need an electric chair.
yeah, just like shock them off a bit and you'll be good.
Yeah, as I said, I can't really add anything on what you said because the same exact thing happened to me, and I was such a good friend with her, and yeah, out of nowhere, just the fact that I can't imagine how people actually use it as an excuse to like not hang out with you or cancel on you when you plan something to do together, you know? It's
That's
just
when
insane.
that's when people should realize that they're not independent and they're depending on the person.
Yeah.
And that's so bad, because why would you depend on a person? And at first it's your friend, but since a new person comes into your life, you depend on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And if that one leaves, you go on another one. Why can't you just be your own self and give people like not equal attention, but know how to share it and
Yeah.
have multiple connections with people without hurting anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least like try to do the minimal, the most effort to do the least damage you could.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you could hang out with your boyfriend more. It's like your decision, of course, but don't forget about me,
Yeah, like
that I've been there from the beginning for you.
you can't just ditch basically a person just like that because now you're in love with someone. Like as Alina said, it's your own decision to see how you manage your time basically. Maybe putting more time in spending it with your boyfriend or girlfriend or your partner, but at the same time you should not forget about the people who are surrounding you and supporting you since day one.
Because I've been there before they were.
Yeah.
When you had a bad day, I was there for you.
Mm-hmm.
And now you just have someone else to rely on, in like quotation. Because, yeah, you just seek attention at that point.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Please move forward.
Moving forward. So the other red flag I have here is controlling nature. When the person has a controlling nature, basically a kind of manipulation, let's say.
And gaslighting.
No, that's another red flag.
Oh,
I put it by itself. You
Oh,
just spoiled
okay.
it now. People, we're just talking about manipulation. So I hate it. Now, let's just drop it. We're talking like exclusively about relationships. I hate when people in relationships get so influenced by their partners about stuff that are not okay, and they just go about with it because they just got manipulated, you know? For instance, maybe going with your like hanging out with your friends without your partner's presence. Like the fact that you are so much under control of your partner that you can't even convince him to let you go out with your group of friends for some hours is just insane, I think. The way
Mm.
he put so much effort in manipulating you that no, I should be there, I should come, and you find it okay, is not okay at all. Like this type of control that someone would have over your life, that could even take over you having to decide on specific topics.
But they're still the victim, because you get to be controlled when you love someone and you just want to
But
please them.
but this is not right.
So the
Even if you are the victim, you should realize that you are the victim and fucking wake up, because that's blind love. That's not that's not that's not how love should be.
I know, but there's many situations. I get what you're saying. I agree totally. I'm not trying to like save people out of this shit, because it's true. But once you're in a toxic relationship and you love that person and you let them manipulate you, basically, it's so hard to get out of this. But it's so easy for a person to talk from outside the picture and judge them. Like,
Why is it so hard to get out of it if I realize that a person is bad for me? Because
because they can't
it's
be
not-
independent. and they depending on that person
You
and
see
their
that-
love.
You see, we come back to that point where it's literally a red flag to depend on your partner just for validation, basically. That's the red flag.
That's
That
the red
shouldn't
flag,
be.
but
That
it's
shouldn't be
all
in a
connected.
relationship. Yeah, but that's the point. Like, it shouldn't be in a relationship because you can't call that love if it's this way. Like,
Yes.
at least for me, how I think. So even if you are not trying to like justify other people for it, because it is a red flag, still, no matter what, even if you are in a relationship and you can't really see it because you're so madly in love with them, you should wake up. Because I don't think that anyone going through such stuff isn't somehow at some point getting or being aware about it because of external influences, like your friends, for example. Of course, they would notice that your partner is somehow controlling of your life or manipulating you.
Yeah.
And when they would tell you about that and you start becoming aware of it, but still you're not talking and you're still accepting it, that's not okay at all.
Yes, but this kind of people, they do realize it, I think, at some point. I'm not trying to defend anyone as again, and I haven't been in this kind of relationship to be manipulated and trying to defend that people, but I'm just trying to give like all the, I don't know, perspectives. What I think that these people that get manipulated by their partners to do certain things, to act certain in a certain way, they do realize it at some point, but it's just that the love is just so big and you just want your partner to change, and they give like multiple chances, and in the end they do realize that because such relationships don't last. It just takes more time for different people. Depends on how much balls you have, like to leave a relationship, because it's hard to leave something you love just because of some flaws, even though they are bad. But you're like, yeah, I can, like, maybe we can work on it. But it is as bad as you said, that they should get out of it. It's just that some people take more time to do that, and unfortunately some don't even, and they end up, I don't know, having kids with these people and never
I
getting,
don't even want to imagine that.
and they
That's so
don't
bad.
even get to cut them off their life completely, because it is what it is. Like, they're just trying to find excuses, and they're trying to do stuff to just change them, as in having a kid together.
Yeah.
Oh no, if we're gonna have a kid, he's
It's gonna
gonna
be
change, he's
different.
gonna be more lovely towards the kid than me because I'm the mother of their kid and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like real problems that, I don't know, we could talk about it, but we can't fully judge people because of these kind of actions, because as we said, we haven't been in this situation, and it's just, I think it's a really tough and sensitive even topic for some people, because they've been manipulated, and of course they feel trash about it, because they're like, why didn't I see this earlier, or why didn't I leave earlier? I wasted my time, I could have done better, I wouldn't have ended up still having to be attached by this person with a kid or with whatever other motive.
I think my main point is whatever kind of relationship it is, now we specified that maybe more of a romantic relationship. When you notice that your partner or the other person is just in any sort of way somehow manipulating you or trying to have control over your own life or decisions, just cut them off. Because somehow you are gonna realize that in early stages of the relationship, and it's better to just cut it off there instead of saying no, we're gonna work it out, and getting more attached to the person, because that's how it ends up, like you mentioned, maybe actually having kids together and being stuck with the person forever. It's just important to realize it and be aware about it from the beginning on, and try to just cut off the person before you actually get really attached to them. So yeah, moving on.
Okay, moving on to another red flag. Probably the last. Um, when people think that emotions are weak, for example, crying,
Oh, that's a really good one.
especially like not especially actually, like people in general.
Mm-hmm.
There are people out there thinking that saying how they really feel is showing their weak spot or something like that. And crying in front of a person, even though the situation is really like tough and you have the tears in your eyes, you just don't want to drop them because that will show weakness towards them. It's really fucked up to me.
I agree, but at the same time, it's also hard to judge, because I mean, it depends on what kind of environment you're in and society, to be honest. It just, for me, it literally comes to my mind that maybe around my community, to say, it's like complicated, especially for man to like show emotions. Even with my own family. Like, I remember growing up when I was maybe crying about something, my mom or my dad telling me, like, don't cry, man, don't cry. Man, don't show emotion. Like, that's fucked up. But because it is this way in my community and this kind of society, I get judged for it somehow. You know? Like, you get criticized. That's why maybe I can imagine that if I was still living back home or around such people, I would try to adapt to it somehow so I don't keep being judged. So it's not like in my own hands, but at the same time, it should be changed. It's just that I'm, again, depending on other people's words.
Yeah, exactly. Like, depends also what people you, I don't know, start bawling your eyes in front of.
Mm-hmm.
But in a situation where you're in a relationship and have to be you have to be emotional, I don't know, vulnerable basically,
Mm-hmm.
and show your emotions, and maybe there's something like you're really going to a tough like fight with your partner, and you can just talk about how you feel and say that it bothered you,
Mm-hmm.
just because you don't want to feel like, oh no, it's fine, like I'm just gonna get over it by myself.
Yeah. I think, as you said, showing raw emotions also makes the relationship between the two persons even more authentic and real. And the fact that you actually feel that comfortable to show emotions to them also somehow make them feel like that they are somehow like confronting, you know? And that's a good sign, I would say. Because also some people don't like to maybe show emotions toward any kind of person, because they feel that it's a much deeper connection
That
that
they
they should
would.
have,
Yeah, okay.
you know?
So
Yeah. So I think we discussed a lot of red and green flags, even though we would have liked to um go on longer with the red flags. We're already an hour in, and we still have a little game that we want to play. So basically, me or Elena and I prepared some kind of more specific actions that we are gonna announce, and both of us have to say if they are a red or a green flag, and then we have to explain why, but really shortly.
Okay,
Who should start?
I will start.
Okay.
When people are constantly online, like on social media.
But what do you mean online? Like posting stuff or just being online?
Posting, being online, being every...
Red flag.
Oh.
Yeah. I think like you should still have somehow a personal life. Like get a life basically. Go touch some grass. Get off your phone and have something off social media that is real.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
wanted to say that
That's
it's
it.
real. Yeah, red flag as well.
Okay. So, when they have a full-time job but live with their parents.
Oh. I mean, it depends on what you want to do afterwards if you're trying to save up for something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. If you're having a full-time job living with your parents and you're trying like to build your family and you bring your partner to your parents' home,
Yeah.
that's kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
No matter if you're a man or a girl.
Yep.
It's a red flag.
That's a red flag for me. Because why the fuck you're having a whole ass full-time job, getting paid off of it, and you're still dependent on your parents? Like, the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah, like
When are you trying to move out or
there's some
something?
people trying to get like full-time jobs and I don't know, save up to like travel somewhere for the next, I don't know, 6 months and they can't get an apartment because of it.
Mm.
That's valid, but
That's more of like a really specific, rare type of situation.
yes. When people have do not disturb on all the time.
Oh my god. Red flag. Big ass red flag. Doesn't matter what. Friends, partner, no matter what. It's a red flag.
Like, what are you trying to...
What are you trying to hide, you celebrity shit? Like,
Not even, like, you're trying to take care of your mental health or whatever, and then you turn off the do not disturb and there's no notifications in there or something
yeah,
like that.
like who the fuck you think you are? Again, go touch some grass and have real connections. So, when they have a lot of friends of the opposite sex or identification.
Wait, just like friends, normal, like
Yeah, friends.
multiple or like a best friend?
Doesn't matter. Could be both.
That's hard because you're my best friend and you're male, and I don't consider that being a red flag. And I'm constantly trying to explain myself, even though I don't own no explanation to anyone about it. But just because there's this big controversial thought about it, like, you have a girl best friend, fuck you, I'm sorry. I'm not, you're a red flag, walking red flag or whatever. And the same with the girls and boys. But I would say it depends of the person, like how, like why do you have that friendship? Because there's some people that don't know how to have this kind of friendships.
Yeah, like you can't really generalize it.
Exactly.
That it's a green flag for everyone.
Because there are people that don't know how to have friendships with the other gender, and they always find something attractive about them, and there's always like
And
a kind of situationship
yeah,
about.
and at the end they just drop the text message like, I have to tell you something.
Yes, like I have a crush on someone. You know them very well. I would say is let's say beige flag.
I would say
Because
it's a
it
beige flag as well.
depends.
Yeah.
It's really depending
Yeah.
on the people. But it could be more like it's a beige flag. Fuck it. adrenaline enjoyers
Mm,
when they just trying to do extreme shit all the time.
I also think, oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Red flag.
I think it's a red flag as well.
Yeah. It's like addicting at some point. Like,
It
no
is.
joke.
There's this thing, like, if people that are addicted to adrenaline,
Like, it is true. Like, we're not lying. It's actually, like, scientifically approved. To
when
say.
you're addicted to, I don't know, adrenaline, I don't know, sports, for example, and you do like bungee jumping and like do stuff like that, and then at some point you crave so much adrenaline that you can't fall in love deeply anymore because nothing brings.
Like, you tolerated that low amount of adrenaline, and you need such a higher amount to reach that, like, ecstasy, to say.
Exactly. And for normal people, that would be love when you feel like so euphoric around
Yeah.
your loved person. But for people that enjoy adrenaline, is so like hard to for them to experience that in a normal, like, daily basis if they don't do something like that literally plays with their lives. So I think
That's fucked up.
it's
actually.
it's a red flag.
Yeah, it's a red flag. So, they want to when they want to split the bill. Because we talked about this the other day. I was with Elena somewhere at a restaurant or a cafe or something. I can't remember. And she looked around at the other table and she was like, "Oh my god, they split the bill." And then she was she was
But-
like, "For me, I don't know why it's fine. Like, if my partner tells me that we have to split the bill, I'm like totally fine with it. But when I see other people and like they're splitting the bill, I'm like,
But-
guy, you should have paid that fucking bill."
Bruh, but for real, that couple that split the bill, they were almost making out at the table. And then they were like, split the bill. I don't know, it felt wrong in that moment. But as Ghassan said, like, for me, it's totally fine. And I think it's a beige flag. Because it doesn't matter for me if you split the bill or not.
Yeah.
Especially in our age. Because we're not like, we don't have full-time jobs. And shit like that.
Like,
and
it would be a nice gesture, you know? I
Yeah.
wouldn't say no. Like, if someone would pay the bill for me, like, my part, I wouldn't say no. Like,
yeah,
hell
exactly.
yeah. But if you want to split it as well, it's also no problem. Like, it's fair to say, you know, I pay the stuff that I ordered, you pay the stuff you ordered, and we're all good.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, in our generation, like, I don't know, not generation, but our age, we don't have full-time jobs. Like, we're as broke as the other person. It's fine to split the bill.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Exactly.
So I think it's a beige flag.
Yeah, I think for me too.
I'm not so much into, even though I'm like from Eastern Europe, and man should pay the bill and be a man and whatever the criterias are. For me, it doesn't matter. When people that cut their family off, or the family isn't their main priority,
It's a beige flag.
because you don't know why they cut them
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, I can't judge. Like, family is not family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do
Family
actually.
doesn't have to be actually family. Like, there are a lot of abusive families or parents or just a type of toxic environment going around, and people at some point get fed up with it and just decide to be away from such people as any other type of person that would be toxic to you and abuse you on any type of level, you know?
Yes.
So I can't really judge, like, of course, if it's for like a dumbass fight or a dumbass reason, I'd be like, boy, what the fuck, grow the fuck up, you know?
Yeah.
But if it's like some type of deep stuff, like on a mental health basis, and like parents being abusive and stuff like that, it's a different type of relationship with them. So I would say it's a beige flag. It also depends.
Okay. Valid.
What about you?
Oh, yeah, I think it's a beige flag. I agree with what you said.
Okay, so when they can't cook.
Oh, that's a beige flag, because you learn that. So it's just that you didn't get to learn it, but it's a red flag when they be like, when it's a man and they can't cook and they think that the woman should cook. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
But when just the woman or a man can't cook, but they try their best, because you do try your best, because how the fuck you're living
I think
every other day.
for me it's more like a green flag because they can't cook. It's not like they don't want to cook, you know?
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, of course.
That's why it's like a green flag. Or if you, some people are not passionate about it, you know? Like
Exactly, yeah.
it's more of like a hobby somehow. So
Oh, hobby. When people don't have hobbies or interests.
oh my god, no way. That was such a bridge. Red flag. It just shows how much of a basic no personality, like zero personality of a person you are when you have like no interests, no hobbies, no bitches. Like what the fuck are you doing?
No bitches. No bitches? Yeah, I think it is a green. What why do I want to say green flag? It's a red flag.
I
Obviously.
think it's a big red flag. Like at least to be interested in something, like I don't know, could be the most basic stuff. Like I'm interested in some music or in an artist or something you're just passionate about.
Or you just watch some type of YouTube videos, like
Doesn't matter.
whatever.
Like, literally, it could be the most like random as shit that you would tell me about, but me seeing you being passionate about it and so into it would just show of how much of like your personality, you know?
Yes.
It would give me just a perspective of it.
I can't imagine people just go throughout their day without doing anything. They'd be like, I'm just sitting at home.
Yeah, like, how are you living? So, when they've never been in a relationship before.
It's a green flag. Oh, but depends how old you are. Wait. Like, how old are we talking?
Doesn't matter in any age category.
Oh, any?
Yeah.
That's hard to say, because we could be in your 20s and be like, I haven't had a relationship. I don't know.
So what if you're in your 30s and you haven't had a relationship? It's a red flag.
Depends what your career is, because sometimes people just don't have time, or they just didn't find the person.
Yeah, that's.
But
the
when you
point.
constantly push people away, that's a red flag. Like, depends, why didn't you have that
I
relationship?
think it's a red flag. Because if someone keeps pushing people away, then they're just dealing with stuff, maybe.
Yeah,
you
exactly,
know?
but it's specific.
Of course, like they should work on changing that, but maybe it's also out of their hands. Like they don't have control over it.
Exactly, that's why it could be a green flag. It's out of your hands. You just didn't find the right person. But when you push people away, it could be
It's still out of your
red.
hands. It still could be out of your hands if you push people away. Maybe you're just dealing with stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's still red flag.
No, for me it's a
Like,
green
seek
flag.
help first and then talk about relationships. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not gonna talk about it more. People that enjoy spicy food.
What the fuck? That's a green flag. Like,
I had a conversation with someone that will listen to this actually, and they will laugh about it. And they said that it's a red flag because
my
why would
God.
you enjoy being hurt?
that was analyzed and interpreted on another level. I didn't
But like,
think
when
about
you
it that
like
deeply.
really spicy food, you need to feel pain to enjoy something.
But it's not just about
Is that a
pain,
green
it's just
flag?
the sensation of
Exactly.
the spices melting on your tongue.
Melting, burning, you mean? Burning your tongue.
I should have said melting your tongue.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think it's a green flag. Like, if
Me
you
too, because
enjoy
I like
it,
spicy
you
food.
enjoy it.
I'm not gonna bring myself down on here. I mean,
when they refer to their ex as crazy or insane.
Red flag.
Red flag for sure.
Oh my god, why are we just talking about red flags actually?
I think it's so fucked up that you're just bragging about someone and putting them so fucking down when everything you've had with them is just over. Like, you just have to move on.
You are not
Just
over
say-
it, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when you're talking like this about them, you're still not over it. Seek help, go touch some grass again, and don't look for a relationship. Do that when you're completely healed.
Exactly. I've spoke with this one guy once that he had a like situationship with this girl, and he was calling her crazy literally.
Oh my
He was saying like, oh my god, this girl, I hate her, she has no personality, she talks shit about everyone, I don't like her. Guess what?
What?
After we stopped talking, they got in a relationship.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah, it was so that's why I immediately say red flag.
Jesus, that's fucked up.
I have a last one myself.
Mm-hmm.
When people watch the same series over and over again, is that comfort or attachment issues?
It's attachment issues, babe. Red flag. Moving on. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's attachment issues.
It is.
You just you think you can't find something better than that.
Yeah. But you have to also move on when the series or the movie
You
is
don't give
over
a
and-
chance to anything
Yeah.
else because you're stuck on
Exactly.
something.
Like you put yourself between four walls and you're like, okay, I found my comfort space. I'm not moving out anywhere else.
Exactly.
Like,
I
to
don't
a
think
bigger room where it's like more astonishing or more comforting for you.
I don't think people really think about this as something that deep.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like, why do you watch the same series
Mm.
over and over again? When you don't know what to watch, you just watch that thing. I have a lot of series that I've loved, and I tried actually watching them again because I've heard people being like, I'm watching this for the 5th time. I was like, oh, let me give it a try. But it's not hitting the same.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a problem
Yeah.
that I'm glad I don't have. One of the few of them.
So I actually still have two. We're gonna do them really shortly. When they never post on social media.
Green.
Red.
Why?
Because it's, again, that type of extremist shit, you know, like extreme shit they are doing. When they are like oversharing stuff on social media and posting everything and not having a real life. And at the same time, just being too much in touch with reality. And like, in this generation, like, okay, maybe you're cool and it's somehow like role model type of behavior to not be on social media and shit, but you just have to adapt to it somehow. You don't have to be posting 24/7 or shit. You don't even have to.
Post yourself, maybe.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
just
agree with
being
that. But
on there with.
no, for me, it's still a
everyone
green
else.
flag. Like, why would you have to be like anyone else? And since you're fine with this and you don't do it out of like ego problems to be like, I'm different, I'm not posting, I'm not like you. If it's not like that, then it's a green flag. Why would you have
It could
to
somehow
post?
depend if it's just them not wanting to be like, not wanting to post on social media and being fine with not being like everyone else, or if it's some type of sneaky shit they're doing.
Sneaky shit.
It depends. I don't know.
Mm.
So, the last one for today's episode. When they have an Android.
Oh my god. That's so fucked up.
That tells so much about your personality if you have an Android. I'm sorry. It doesn't even tell about your financial situation. Doesn't even have to do anything about that, I think.
It's just something like people that use iOS.
Are superior. Point. Period.
I do think that they're different. But Yeah, I'd be judging. I'd be judging if you
Red
don't have an
flag.
iOS. But
Summary red flag.
it's still something that, I don't know, we shouldn't put each other in the same pot. And why can't people be different? But these people that have Androids, I agree that the people that I met then had Androids, they are different in a weird way, not
Mhm.
gonna lie. But I do agree that maybe out there are some people that,
Yeah, of course. Like we can't generalize again. It's not
yeah, I'm
something
not
that
generalizing,
100% of
but the
those
majority
people do
of
this.
them were sick in mind.
Yeah, red flag. That's it. Just spit it out.
No,
Say it's a red
I
flag.
don't want to say it's a red flag. I would say it's beige.
She's like, she winked at me. It's a red flag. So with that,
With that being said, thank you for listening to us today.
thank you for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoyed listening to us again, discussing and
Talking shit,
talking
you know.
shit. Yeah, you know the drill. So we'll see you next week, or we'll talk to you next week on another episode with a new topic.
See you.
Bye.